We're going to have a look at Kansetsu waza. It's quite an advanced drill. It puts together a whole bunch of different arm locks, hand locks, wrist locks, finger locks, etc. together. While there's a myriad of ways that we can apply these techniques, these concepts, there are a finite amount of concepts. So if we're starting with the small joints, like on the fingers there, for example, if we can control and bend in a direction they're not supposed to go, that's one way that we can manipulate them. Or we can push them back on themselves to compress them for pain over here. With the wrist, we've got 4 major directions that we use for it. So we can compress it. If we compress, we're pushing the fingers back towards itself, but we need to have something behind the elbow to stop some movement there. That's usually looking for wrist pain. We can have it coming the other way. So stretching it backwards over here, same thing applies. We can have a twisting type of lock on that wrist over here. Generally speaking, it's not all about the pain of the wrist, it's more about the manipulation of the elbow to off balance them, ready for whatever we want to do next. And then the last one is when we articulate into what we call hongyaku. Some people call this a center lock or nikyo or nikajo, lots of different names for it. And we take the pressure, they take the movement out of the joint and then apply a little bit of pressure with the fingertips only over here, the little fingers, to put the pressure on. Doesn't require a lot of pressure at all. Okay, then we look at the arm itself. We've got a couple of basic ways that we manipulate the arm. One is we want to control the shoulder and the wrist, and we want to put pressure on the elbow in order to hyperextend that elbow. Alternatively, we want to take it past its normal range of motion. So if we get a bend in it and we take it further than what it's supposed to go this way, or further than what it's supposed to go this way, that's also going to cause pain and to manipulate his balance. That's what we're looking to achieve with this. So this drill is quite long, bear with me. We're going to start from the beginning where we're in a handshake sort of situation over here. So first of all, I'm going to turn it over the top. My little finger over here is stopping the base of the finger. My other hand pulls that one up there to put pressure on. Come back across over here, and I'm going to press that thumb back on itself to cause pain over here and make him want to disengage. I'm going to use this shape now, the loser grip underneath the wrist over here, in order to off balance him. This is a pain compliance exercise. It doesn't use anywhere near as much effort as what you'd think it might use, but we're using that to bring them up over here. We've got a whole range of other pressure points that we can add to this drill if we want to. We're going to look at it from a simpler perspective today. We turned over into this hongyaku position, fingertips up high, thumbs never grabbing, just using the base of the thumbs. And from here we want to take the movement out of the joint and then straighten the back and put a little bit of pressure on that over here. Another version of that, we can use the chest and a little bit of pressure on the elbow to achieve the same thing, but this way it's a little bit harder for him to escape from it. Over here. From here we're going to pull him off balance and turn it over the top over here. We can use all sorts of different pressure points. If I pull this outwards, there's a very exposed pressure point over here that we can manipulate. I'm going to go through it in a bit of a faster sequence. I'm going to tip that underneath and come in and grab the pressure points on the chest muscles over here. He's going to get umbre to pull that one out, and now he's going to come back and grab my collar over here. Okay, I'm going to grab that, spit, flick him in the groin, strike up, smash down, strike the face, come in, strike the throat, then grab. He's going to grab that hand and peel it off. I'm going to go with him, but then I'm going to raise my elbow to bring it over the top and change hands. So we're going to spin around here just so you can see the detail. I've come over the top and changed my hands. I'm now going to put my loser grip to hook this one with my 3 fingers and use my elbow to bring him down over here. He's in quite a painful kind of position over here. I can now go 1, 2 to release that out of the way, put my hand back on this, and I'm going to turn to get some pressure over here to create some pressure over there. I'm then going to put my hand on top over here and do an uppercut, but with the first knuckle forward to double that elbow up, and I'm going to butterfly grip this behind to get that compression that we're talking about, the second type of wrist lock, to get the compression on this wrist. He doesn't like this. He's going to try to wrap around and headlock me From here I go bang, headbutt, chomp if I want to, thumb in the pressure point underneath, so I'm getting some space over here as I slide down to get my little finger linked into his little finger. Come in underneath over here. If I want to, I can spin quickly to make it a very painful lock for him. Instead, I'm going to extend that out, put some pressure on the Golgi tendon over here. I want to keep his shoulder lower than his wrist to be effective. I strike with the knee, and I strike up with the shin to the face. I'm then going to cup up underneath. I'm going to punch, step on his foot, punch my hand forward, and put his elbow up against my stomach over here so I can get that first type of compression that I was talking about before. We've got a whole different variation that we can use here. Just the thumb, we can pull it back and do the Spock. We can come to the outside and get a twist with it as well. That's also very painful. Then from here, I want to make sure my little finger is in again as I bring it around to his back. And I'm going to use the Mochi Mawari technique to bring it to the close side of his belt so that he's in a back bend position. I now stomp on the back of the knee to bring him down, hook punch across, drag that through, bicep bump through, and set that one up for a choke. If I choose to not go for a choke, but instead go for pain compliance, I can come over here and grab the chest muscle with the pressure points in over here. I can strike in using the knuckle or the thumb or the fingers over here, all these different pressure points. I can grab for a choke from behind. From the side over here is also extremely painful. This arm is being stretched, so there's a ridge in between the muscle here, the shoulder and the chest muscle, where if I stimulate that, it's also very, very painful. From here, I'm going to extend his elbow using my hand, and I'm going to use my knee to off-balance him at the same time. Then I'm going to come through and bend those fingers back so there's all this room in here. And I'm going to use this here to come in with this Juji Jime. I roll it around and I come in with a reverse gooseneck position. I change grips, hyperextend that out, and shoulder into the back of that elbow to pressure him forward. From here, I'm going to come in 1, 2. He grabs my hand. Doesn't like that very much. I step in, go up, out, and then sweep that leg back out the way over here. From here, I release from his grip using a circular action. Continue that circular action all the way around and rotate his elbow high over here. Once again, I've got knees and forearms to attack if I want to. I'm now going to slide out to that wrist, keep his thumb downwards, lower myself down, and drive down with my elbow. From here, I step out, change grips, push his face away, palm high, try to go as deep as I can with this hand so that my hand is high and my elbow is low, and then I straighten my posture and drop my shoulders to put a lot of pressure on his arm and unbalance him. If I wanted to, I can easily turn this into a very painful throw over here, but I'm not going to do that at this point in time. Instead, I'm going to bring this around into like a pistol grip and slide up into it. From here, I can put a lot of pressure on that over here as well. I stomp down on that foot to distract him over here, turn with an elbow to his face, bang. And here we are into another arm and wrist lock together. I'm going to stretch that out, going over his face. I'm going to duck underneath this one. We might not use this as an attack, but we might use this when he's trying to grab our necks as a countering action. You can see I'm grabbing his far elbow over here so that he can't punch me in the face with that. Should he be in this kind of position, we can use this as a defensive action over here. Then I'm going to turn away and hyperextend. It could be that he's coming in for a rear naked choke. I'm going to hyperextend, keep my elbow a little wide over here so I get a bit of a platform on my shoulder. Then I rotate that out and I bring it around into a Niho Nage or Shiho Nage, depending on the style that you come from or what you might call this. Keep the finger exposed over here so we've got lots of pressure both from the thumb and the finger over here so you can feel that that's quite a painful action. I change my hands and I drive through to grab the face. So I've got a combination of arm and choke working over here with this lock. I'm going to put my hand back on his hand, not so much a handshake, but over the top of the base of his hand. And I'm going to rotate him around, spin him through. I spin through the spinning back fist, which also turns into a wrist lock over here, and I come back and I use that gakun to raise his balance point up again. We want him on his toes over here, and then I rotate it out, and you can see 1, 2 coming through again. Once again, these hongaku movements. I'm going to pull him off balance and then turn that around into what we call konohagaeshi. This hand here is doing the off balancing. This hand is adding that extra element of twist to create that extra pressure if we need to. He's looking down towards it. I'm going to strike him away now, make him look away from it as I set up for like a chinte arm lock over here. Okay, once again, I'm bringing the hand back past where it wants to actually be. Now I'm going to take my free hand, my outside hand, and I'm going to thread this one over and through. Now come underneath and I can raise this over here to put extra pressure on that shoulder in particular. He can actually feel that in his elbow as well if he's got tightness there. From here I'm going to strike, turn around and strike, hit down and bring that elbow to my chest. Then I'm going to come around the top and grab my wrist. From here, I can actually go into first one over here before I come through, just with the teapot itself. We call this the teapot. Okay, then I can elbow out and actually come back in for that movement in there where we've got the head inside the teapot as well. Now the final movement, I'm going to come out, I'm going to get Ambarai down on this arm over here, put my hand on the chest to lock his arm in, and then I'm going to drive through on the face to come in with the reverse guillotine. I'm actually going to release his arm here, take the pressure off him, but the technique would actually be to retain that to cause a lot of damage. Now he's going to spin out, and he's going to hyperextend my arm, and he's going to come over the top, and he's going to lock that one up, and this would be the starting point for the choke drill, shime waza that comes after it. Os.